I'm so glad to be done with this series. There's a reason why, after we did issue 4, that there was a long absence to doing this book. Because after issue 4, it says, to be continued in, what was it, like Leviathan something or other Alpha. And then there was a Leviathan something or other Omega. And then this is the Lazarus Planet Epilogue. If you guys don't want to be spoiled, pause this video, go get the books, read them, and come back. Or check out the videos. And you're back. So, what initially drew me to Batman vs. Robin was the seemingly promise that Alfred was going to return. Because that was essentially established in issue 1. Bruce opens the door to surprise to see Alfred standing there in the rain. And this whole time, Bruce thinks it's some sort of clone or trick. And we come to really feel like it is Alfred. And towards issue 3, I think it is, in a sense, it is. I'm having a hard time forgiving DC for killing Alfred. That was a whole crock of crap, in my personal opinion, especially the way he was killed. And then after that whole thing with Tom King, Robin left Gotham because he couldn't forgive himself for the death of Alfred, and that's how we got the little faux Mortal Kombat series where Robin goes to Lazarus Island and meets all these teammates. And then after that series ended, we come to find out that Robin is acting evil, and Batman is on his way to save him, to find out that this guy named Nisa that the Justice League had put down at one time in history is possessing him. So it went from thinking, and the reason that I thought that Alfred was going to return is if you go back, God, how long ago was that? Maybe 2017, 2018, after Grant Morrison frustratingly killed Damian. We did the Hunt for Robin within the pages of Batman and Robin, and it was like a 6 to 8 comic arc of Bruce hunting down the Lazarus pit to revive Robin, which led them to Apocalypse, and it was both Robin and Talia. And Damian came back from the dead, which was absolutely awesome, and he had superpowers for a little bit, which would have been cool if they would have kept it. It would have been interesting to see a superpowered Bat family member at the time, because this was pre-Duke Thomas, I think. Yeah, pre-Duke Thomas, or at least in the version that we see now. Anyway, so I was kind of hoping that we were going to get Alfred back at this point. But no. Instead, it goes, this book, the epilogue, we see Damian is knocked out, and he goes, what I remember. The devil Nisa had succeeded on drawing all of Earth's magic onto Lazarus Island. And still Batman had him on the ropes until Nisa's son, King Fire, thundered onto the scene and took up the battle. Batman was mortally wounded in the fray. So essentially, Batman was on the verge of death. Now again, if you don't want to be spoiled, go read this, come back. So we come to find out that Nisa has possessed Batman. And Damian said that there was enough of him still inside his body when Nisa initially possessed him that he could see what was going on, but not as strong enough to do anything about it. So that's kind of where this whole epilogue leads into, is how they finally defeat Nisa. This is Mark Waid writer, Mahood Assar doing the art, Jordi Belair doing the colors, Steve Wan's letterer. There's everyone else working on the book, and Batman was created by Bill Finger with Bob Kane. So when Nisa took over Batman's body, we come to find out that it's the only thing essentially keeping him, the Batman's body, together. So Robin finds a way to escape. He has to team up with this character named Monkey Boy or something to that degree. I can't remember what his name is. Yeah, Monkey Prince. And at first I thought it was like a mutated Kid Flash or Impulse, because he looks kind of like Bart. But it's not. They talk about how they need to get this... what's his name? Pigsy, they called him. He's another magic user. Because that was kind of the thing, is Nisa was taking all the magic characters and essentially murdering them and channeling all of their magical powers into Dr. Fate's helmet so that he could use it to take over the world. And yeah, you can just kind of see where I'm getting at this, where the whole book starts out with Batman teaming up with Alfred. And they're going to Lazarus Island to save his son. And that's how you kind of start to realize that this is Alfred saying, sir, you know, you always do the right thing even though you're gruff, da 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 da. And Bruce is really starting to feel like he has his surrogate father back. But then something happens. Alfred exits the book. No more Alfred after issue 3. And it focuses on Nisa and blah, blah, blah. The best part for me after the whole being subverted with Alfred was all these characters being possessed by Nisa to wear down Batman. And Nisa basically makes all these characters talk about their insecurities towards Bruce. And the ones with Tim, Dick, and Jason are really hard. So Damian essentially is saying, I'm playing the same playbook here where I'm going to wear him down to the point where Nisa is going to be tired, and maybe we can exercise him, but we can see how strong he is in the Batman's body, especially him having Bruce's memories. And there's some great moments. Don't get me wrong. There's some great emotional moments between father and son. And it's nice, as I said at the beginning, I hate when they start doing superhero versus superhero. At least in this book, there was a reason for it. Bruce had to save his son. Instead of just be like Civil War or Schism, it wasn't anything like that. And you can see how loyal Damian is to his dad. And he's saying, this is for my family. This is for my father. He's calling Nisa as he punches him pathetic. But what happens as all the magic users kind of return, they find out that if they exorcise Nisa from Bat's body, he will die. And so there's this whole Deus Ex Machina thing where Damian's saying, well, can't we all use pieces of our soul? And Zatanna says that it would have to be immensely powerful, or like a huge amount of little bits of everything. And so towards the end, I don't want to give it away because this still is kind of a relatively new book. But what I like is how it boils down to is Damian talks to everyone in Gotham and he goes, he, meaning Batman, has saved the people of the city countless times. Think about that. When you had no hope, he was there. When you were in danger, he protected you. When you needed the impossible, he made it happen. And so we just kind of show how important Batman means to Gotham and what it means when Damian says, raise up your hands and say, we are Batman. And it's just a really nice way to finally see father and son reunite and come back together. So if you want to ignore everything that happened that was irritating about Alfred not coming back, and just look at it as a way to finally see two characters who were ran through the ringer during the City of Bane finally be able to come back together, reconcile, and be in each other's arms. It kind of reminded me again of when Tomasi brought Damian Wayne back, and you can see the love of the two as they embraced because his son came back from the dead. And this is kind of the flip side of this one where his father comes back from the dead. This wasn't anything super spectacular or special, but if you want to read something that's relatively harmless, and I mean, yes, there's violence and stuff like that, but I mean, it doesn't really break the mythos per se, other than wishing that Alfred was back in the fray. This was a good focus on Damian as well as the Bat family. So I'll give it that. But this, and even this, I hate that right here. They just put Alfred's soul right in the middle of the book, even though he has nothing to do with this issue. And it's just, still, Alfred's just one of those characters that should not die. The only time I think it would have been logical is during New 52. I cannot, for the life of me, remember her name. But she essentially starts helping Alfred and Bruce behind the scenes. I can't remember her real name, but during the New 52, whenever Bruce was talking to Alfred on his headset, he'd always say Penny 1, and when his daughter entered the fray, he'd say Penny 2. So if they wanted to kill Alfred, she should have stuck around, because she was a great character, but they kind of moved her into the GCPD after Batman died and Gordon became Batman, and they kind of moved her onto the GCPD. And then after that, she just disappeared. It's one of those, another way where we just get these awesome characters and then nothing gets done with them. And she was one of those characters. So if that was the case, now don't get me wrong, when Tomasi took over Detective Comics, it was interesting to see how Bruce started to lean heavily on Lucius Fox. But they didn't have the same dynamic. So it's one of those things. Let me know what y'all think. I think I'm still hurt because Alfred has always just been one of those characters you look up to, and just his absence has really been felt for me, and it kills me anytime I still see that panel of Bane just ruthlessly snapping his neck. So if you guys enjoyed what you've seen, please first and foremost support your local comic shop or wherever it is like to get your action figures and comics and grab this series. I'm sure by now it's already in collected trades, so you can check it out that way. If you've enjoyed this review, really would appreciate if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the channel more than you could possibly know. And if you don't mind hitting that fancy little Lazarus bell, next subscribe. That way we can upload content. You guys get notified. Come to the channel, and I love talking with you all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments or the socials, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, everyone.